started pretending I knew you, and you knew me too. And just like a romance, you were too shy, but you weren't the only, 'cause so was I. And I dreamed of you ever since. Now I build up my confidence that next time you come my way, I know just what to say. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. I started to write you letters, but I wanted to be more clever. I wanted to get down and sweet talk you, hey baby. But just like a baby, I could not talk, and I tried to come closer, but could not walk. And I think of it every night, how I just could not get it right. Oh, if we ever come close again, I know what I'll say then. Yeah. Can we talk for a minute? I wanna know your name. Can we talk for a minute, baby? I want to know your name. Oh, girl, one more chance with you again. I will not let it go. Please give me just one more chance for Come on and talk to me, baby. Said I wanna know your name. Wanna know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah. I said, can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me, baby. See, I wanna know. You better tell me your name, baby. I said, talk to me for a minute. Come on and talk for a minute. I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know your name. Talk to me for a minute. Come on and talk for a minute.
Good evening to our family and friends that's joining us today. We are happy to have y'all here with us. Another happy hour, another day, another week. Um, I hope all is well on you all side, and I hope you all got your drinks. I hope you all got your questions. Don't be shy. Um, don't be shy. This is why I go live, because um, I want to interact with our audience and the people that follow us and know us, so we can really, really interact with you all while we're having a discussion, versus other podcasts. You kind of, look at it and then you have your say on it, but then they don't really know the saying on it because you're not live with them. So Again, that's I like doing things that sets us aside from others. But today's topic is overcoming cheating, and this is for men and women. And so, Real is going to be speaking off of the man's perspective, from his experience, or if he has experienced it before, or just off of the general conversations that he has had with men that have experienced and their breakthrough, and what they did to overcome. And I'm going to be speaking on the woman's side of things because I think it's important that men understand what we do and how we process things once this has happened to us. So, this topic was in a discussion, but this topic was something that I thought would be great because I do a lot of coaching when it comes to relationships about this. And, I give the tools and stuff, and got to talk to the men and women about the process piece. So, that's what we're here to do today. So, Rayvon is not with us today. He had a long day. So it will just be me and Real. He might pop in. If he does, great. If not, we will see Rayvon next week. Real.
Thank you for letting me get a word in.
um,
Good evening, everybody. Like I said, the topic: overcoming cheating. It's a major thing to overcome, regardless, male, female. When you in that relationship with someone, you love that person. Suppose that person love you, and then the infidelity, cheating, or whatever comes about, it could break you down, male or female. Um, Ladies first, please give your thoughts.
I give my thoughts as from what perspective?
From as a woman, what's your thoughts on trying to overcome being cheated on? First, we start there. You being cheated on, how do you overcome? How or can you overcome it?
I think every situation is different according to the individual. That's number one. That will determine where the person, excuse me, where the woman is with her self esteem and where she's at with their relationship, right? And so, if it has happened repeatedly, and each time it happens, whether y'all men know it or not, it takes down our self esteem and it builds up our insecurities. And so, I know for me, in the past when it did happen, um, it was kind of like, okay, I used to be on tick for tat. I'm gonna tell you how I feel the first time, but you keep on showing me actions that this is what you prefer to do, then I'm gonna start to show you how I feel. That used to be the old me, right? Which is not a good thing. But the crazy thing is, when I did that, it was like, oh, now I have understanding. And it's sad to say, it's like sometimes you gotta show a motherfucker that this is what it is, and like, because it's gonna get real in here. Now, however, though, I will say, for me to overcome it, and I had to understand when I stayed, though, when I decided to stay, um, because it set up insecurities in me, I kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, talking about it, bringing it up, which it kind of did something for him. Like, you can't trust me. And so it's getting up, like, then that's another thing that gets on the man's nerves, because now that's all she think about and talk about. But this is the piece that I want men to understand. You opened up that door. You took down her self-esteem and you enhanced her insecurities. So it's kind of like she's on a roller coaster. So one day she's okay and she wants it to work because she feels that the love can overcome the cheating, or the infidelity, right? But then once a man feels like, okay, she kind of over it, then he starts slipping and sliding again. And even if he's not dealing with another woman, his movement make her feel like he's dealing with another woman. Because you got to remember, with women, we look at y'all like, before y'all hurt us, we look at y'all like you one of our kids, kind of said, like, you can do no wrong, right? But then when you hurt us and we trying to overcome it. And because you want us to overcome it, and you messed up, rather some men already know they can continue to mess with the lady. It's just convincing the main lady that I'm not gonna mess with the other lady, right? So in order to do that, they be up under her, they take her out, they're starting to post her on social media, then they that bitch don't mean nothing to me, and this, that, and third, and it wasn't like that. And as the women start to smile again and get comfortable and beginning to accept and build back up what she had before she found out, here he comes again, coming home late, being in the bathroom on his phone. When he go places, he wants her to go, then he don't want her to go. Secret conversations, so it's like that hat that, and even though he might not be doing nothing, but again,
it's a trigger.
Yes,
It's certain things which I can understand when you know of how the cheating started the first time, and then there's going to be triggers. There's going to be certain things that person says, certain things that person does. That's going, you can't help it. It's, to me, it's human. Um, and from a male's perspective, I'm be honest with you. And any man that disagrees, he is a damn lie. A man cannot handle his woman cheating. No man can handle it. I don't care who. It'll tear down any man. Cause just the thought of, and I've had conversations with coworkers and friends or whatever on this topic, and we all agree. I mean, just the thought that another man has touched your woman, it does something to you. It gets deep, deep, deep in your skin. So that's it's crazy. Because, and I say that because then the flip side, in other words, women are a lot more forgiving when it comes to that. Some women are a lot more forgiving. They let love take over the situation, and they so called have faith in a relationship and figuring it'll work itself out. The tit for tat thing. Now, to me, that's dangerous. That's dangerous because if you going tit for tat, he cheating, you cheating, y'all don't know what y'all bringing home.
right. Well, again, for like in my situation, when I have done it in the past, right? You don't know what you bring at home. Let me tell you something about women. Most women, okay? We see y'all cheat with your penis. We cheat with our mental and our heart, right? So therefore, it's very seldom. Now, this day and time, it's a little different because women just going for it. But I know for me, it was once I got to that piece right there, I kind of was checked out anyway. Because again, if I love you and like I'm there and you know what I mean. But I was so rigid and raw with it, like I wouldn't even say I cheated because when the question was asked to me, I gave the information. I'm not gonna lie because I don't have time to lie because this is what I'm doing. I'm giving you a space to go do what you need to do.
I definitely agree with that. I think in most cases that's most women. For
Yeah.
Because if that woman loves you, that's your wife, even girlfriend, but it's deep, deep, deep. For her to take that step and actually go through with that action, I would say mentally she's already checked out. And I'm kind of the same way. If I get to that point, and of course I'm much more mature now. I'm an adult, so I'm gonna tell you, look, this ain't working out. Before I make that move, I'd rather just end it. Now, of course, in my younger days, I'm not gonna act like I was a saint. My younger days, young, wild, getting all this attention from I, things happen, and I've been cheated on as well. But I guess it kind of showed me. I kind of looked at it when it did happen, like apparently I didn't feel the way I thought I felt about that person anyway. Because honestly, I was kind of numb to it. It was like this my this my opportunity to leave.
Right.
Versus being mad.
Right.
I never raised a voice. I never had a conversation about it. Like you said,
basically, so would you say that it kind of stopped you from feeling guilty if you did walk out?
Right.
That was like, okay, I can
And
go
I
now
and
and I
I
won't feel
guess
guilty about it.
and I guess at that point, at like I said, at that point, even before it was suspected, I had already kind of just like really don't want to be here, so just waiting for the opportunity. Opportunity came, deuces. Good luck
Right,
to you.
right.
So, and I mean, from then on, I guess because I stayed single for so long that, and it was probably because of that. I don't want to go through that. I knew that I wasn't at a place where I was ready to 100% commit to this one person, and I knew I was at a place that I didn't want to worry about nobody running around on me. You know, I was working a lot, so it. I work. You know the conversations I've had about guys that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that situation don't help either. I sit there and listen to them talk about, their relationships at home with their wives, and I sit there and listen to them on them late night phone calls. We work night shifts, so they call at home and wife ain't answering the phone, or had one situation, the kids called him at like 2 o'clock in the morning because one of the other kids was sick. And he, all we could hear him say was, "Go wake your mother up." What do you mean she's not in the room? Where's she at? All right, I'll call you back. You know, Mom, she was creeping out in the middle of the night. So it was stupid stuff like that. Be like, nah,
Right,
I
but
don't want no parts of that.
right, but then too, I think that sometimes men need to realize too. Yes, we want y'all to be providers, right? Just like y'all want us to be providers in certain aspects, right? So sometimes, when because, we talk and like a lot of the men at your job, they rather work 8 to 10 days straight, 15 days straight. And so again, nobody gets in a relationship and be married to be single. So you have to understand that too. Because men are quick to say, I provide for you, but you provide financially, right? But you're still missing the piece where I connected with you from the beginning so I can have somebody to you know, have sex with, communicate with, hang out with, be my BFF. And sometimes that's why you got to balance. And sometimes men get so much into work, 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 work. Same thing with women, right? Some of us can work, 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 work. And we forget the piece of being able to, what I'm saying, talk to our husbands, cook, interact with the kids, do different things. Because women are not saints either. Because you got, women out here that would cheat too. They have the work husband or whatever it is, happy hour, whatever it is. So we just gonna stop saying woman and men. We just gonna say the cheater piece. But so when you're talking about that, and like you said, it made me feel like, nah, I just rather stay single. But I'm sure it planted a seed for you. Like I come to work hard, you know what I'm saying? And then the whole time, and it probably made you feel a certain type of way once we did engage and we started to live together. And I'm at home at night or whatever the case may be, it probably put some thoughts in your mind because what you seen in your environment that you was going through as well. But the same thing with me. I had, when you were saying you work nights, you work days or whatever, I gave you my perception of, well, I don't care for that too much. But let me tell you how I overcame that, ladies. And this is, from what I have experienced in the past where work was used as an excuse, right? But you really wasn't at work, but it was used as an excuse. And so when he was working nights or whatever, my insecurity started to come up for what somebody else did. And so I said to him, like I don't care for, and I would get sometimes I would get an attitude, but to be honest, I felt like when he worked nights, it was kind of like a disconnect. And maybe during that time it was because my insecurity started to overcome what was really going on, and so I had to talk to me, and like raw wisdom had to talk to Rachel. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the life coach kicked in with me and just experience and understand that you are not him, he is not you, you have done nothing to hurt me, so why am I going to let you why am I going to hold you accountable for something that caused insecurities back then? Because this is your career. You was doing this before me. So I got to accept it and deal with it. And it's not fair for me to give you an attitude for something that somebody else did. But again, that was too also, that was the healing piece that I took when them 5 years that I was single and I had friends or whatever, But it was a lot of things that I had to overcome before I can meet you, because if not, it probably wouldn't have worked. Because we hold on to things, we hold grudges, and definitely, telling you, like, once a person starts to make me feel and I sense, and one thing about us women, we are DEA, we are FBI, we are the police, we are the private investigators. When it comes to our man, we be on it, and if we can't be on it, our friend will be on it. And if our friend can't be on it, her cousin gonna be on it. That's just how we are.
Shout out to Fox News, NBC News, CNN, all them cousins, Sonia, uh, Auntie Tiff, and yeah, I know how y'all do.
So
somebody got the scoop.
But anyways, but one good thing I can say about that now with all of us, we don't have the scoop on each other's man, because our men have been stand-up men. You understand? We finally got to that point where, they're not who we used to deal with. But again, when you deal with a certain caliber of man, a certain type of issues gonna come with that, right? So I just think that just another point I want to say with the men. When and women, I'm going to speak on the men first. Men, when you cheat, or if you have cheated, and if you're still in that relationship with that woman, right, that you have kind of lost the trust and you feel like you ain't got a leg to stand on, and she forgave you because she wants it to work, right, you got to remember, it is your job and responsibility to help build up her insecurities, because you help tear them down. So if that's comforting her, if that's taking her back out, if that's dating her again, that's what you got to do, because she didn't do that. You think she want to be depressed? You think she want to be sad? You think she want to feel like she's not pretty? You think she want to feel like she's not good enough? That came with.
I think that goes both ways, male or female.
Yes.
If the other person decide we can work through this, no matter what, we're gonna stay together. It is that person that created the situation. It's almost like you're twice as more obligated to make sure that this works. You're twice as more obligated.
You got to put in some work.
Yeah, it's grind time, and if you're not really truly willing to go that extra mile, then you need to just say that. Just say, I made a mistake. I understand you can't get over it. Blah blah blah. So if I can't seem to make it right, I think we need to move on. But so that way nobody's getting drug along.
Right, and if the person decides to stay, because some women, and I'm gonna say women, well, I'm gonna say both really, because I've known men that have stayed knowing that the woman is a certain way, right? So when you stay and the behavior hasn't changed, and you don't make a statement about the behavior, it's going to continue to happen. And if you don't stand up for you, and you don't respect yourself enough to say, I don't deserve this, the other person is not going to do it either. I don't care who you are. You got to set the tone for how you want to be treated. And that's with your kids, your husband, boyfriend, friends with benefits.
Anything in life.
Yes.
That's life, period.
You have to set the tone.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
It's the voice. But y'all see how you do me. But it's like really, it's serious, man. It's like really, really, really serious. But because I do see couples that, sometimes the mind goes into immaturity mode, right? Where they don't understand. And then some people can't override temptation. And then you got to look at where a person comes from. If they're not used to getting attention, but then they start to form attention from this person, that person, that feels good, and they don't know what it feels like to have that attention. Same thing with women. When women are a certain way, and then they, cut their hair, or they lose weight, or they just finally decide to get the sexy look on, and they starting to get that attention from the man that they never would have thought. It's like, whoa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, forget him. She's not too bothered. So again, put your partner first. And again, if you busy watering your own grass, and you busy cleaning up your own house and pouring into your own husband or boyfriend, then most of the time you're going to be fine, because you can go out and pour into the new person, but do you know the new person for real? Everything's fun in the beginning.
That same effort that you put into above and beyond for that new person, trust me, if you doing that for your current person, you're gonna get twice the return on it.
Yes.
You because you're the person that you're with, the person that knows you, they see you, they're gonna notice quicker that you're going above and beyond to do these things to make them happy.
Yeah.
They're gonna be twice as much
And
appreciative of it. And if they're not, then that's probably a sign too.
right. And pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs, because sometimes people are just not strong enough to say that they just don't have an interest in you no more. However, you're just a body for them until they find something different.
Yeah.
But pay attention, and then too, don't wait for somebody to leave you. If you know it ain't right and the treatment ain't right and the situation ain't right, leave them. Because again, that's you. That's your heart. That's what you need to work on for you. Love you, right? Like, keep your self-esteem where it needs to be. And like for me, I know if I got to keep on enduring you cheating on me, right? And it's steady, when we all got a breaking point, I walk away because I'm scared that when I get to that breaking point, I don't know what that's going to look like, right? And because I don't know what that's going to look like, I know that it ain't going to be good. So before it get there, I got to let it go. And I've been a person that always say this: I'm going to fight for what I feel. And if I feel like I'm the stronger vessel during an altercation, then I'm going to be the stronger vessel so we can overcome what we're going through, right? However, yes. However,
Why you looking at me like that?
because you look at me like that.
I'm listening.
You look at me like, yeah, right. But
I'm listening.
but you made me lose my train of thought. But it also, so with the stronger vessel, so that means you got to be patient, and you got to remember to hold the person's hand and understand. And when we talk about forgiveness for the cheater or the person that's being cheated on, when we say that we forgive you, you can't say I forgive you, but you're still talking about it. You can't say I forgive you and you're still throwing it up in the person's face. It's a reminder. And again,
you can't use it as a weapon.
You can't.
It can't be a weapon.
You can't. Because if you forgive and you want it to work, it's gonna hurt. And this is what I tell people, women and men. All of us got a goodie bag. And if you don't got a goodie bag with your relationship, then that means you need to reevaluate some things. I'm just saying. Because a goodie bag means the good times, the good days, the things, and that's when things get a little rocky, you dig down inside that goodie bag and you pull out a memory and you hold on to that. And that's where you try to get back into. Yes, we will forgive and we won't forget. However, just because you don't forget it don't mean you got to keep bringing it up either.
Right. And it's not about forgetting.
It's about forgiving so you can move past it.
It's on your mind. But I think the key part of that is, you didn't forget it, like we said, but don't use it as a weapon. Now, you didn't forget it. It's still on your mind. It's still bothering you. Don't wait till you're in an argument to bring it about. That's not how you get over it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on your mind that much and you can't get it off, find a peaceful time and sit down and talk about it.
Where y'all not frustrated with each other.
When nobody's frustrated, just simply say, I need to talk to you. This is on my mind. I don't want to argue about it. I just want to express how I feel about this. It's still bothering me. And I want to express it. You see, that's a whole lot better than somebody mad because of whatever, and the first thing out your mouth was, well, when you did such and such, I forget. No. That's not gonna help nobody. Because after so many times of hearing that other person gonna be like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Right. But you say that though. You say that. So are you saying they can't bring it up if the person decides to cheat again?
Oh, no. That's definitely not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Because I'm going to say, it's going to come up because now we on trial.
No. That's different. I'm just saying in a normal
argument.
In a
If we
normal
arguing
argument.
about why you late from the store or why you this, and then I start talking about what you did last year with the cheating with the chick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking. That's
Yeah, you
different.
can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't keep bringing it up.
And like I said, just because it's on your mind, don't mean you need to. Like I said,
But that goes with behavior
that goes with behavior
and triggers.
So you bring it up, but you don't bring it up in an argument form. You simply say, "I just want to point out that this X, Y, and Z. You remember, and not and let it be known. I'm not doing this. Throw it in your face, right? I'm bringing this about because it's almost like a trigger.
Right.
I'm bringing this up because I'm sensing a pattern from what happened before, and I want to make sure we still on the same page. Remember, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. Any problem can be addressed in the right form. Now, just jumping off topic a little bit, this is more towards men, right? Because I'll admit this is even something I had to learn through the years, right? Cheating is not just physical, right? It's not because you went out with somebody. It's not a kiss. It's not. When you're in a relationship, I think a lot of us men, we don't realize just I put it to you like this. Any conversation or anything that you do that you wouldn't do in front of your partner can be borderline cheating.
Yeah. Especially if you know that you kind of have a little thing for the person or the person got a big thing for you. And you are indulging in the conversation, even though you know you're not going to tap in physically yet. But
and honestly, us as men, women, male, female, humans, sometimes, like we spoke on earlier, that attention sparks your interest, right? You got good intentions. I'm not gonna cheat on it, but the fact that this person is showing you that slight bit of attention, telling you, you look good. It just could be the slightest thing. It's gonna catch your attention. It's gonna catch your eye. It's gonna make you want to return the conversation. And that's not to say,
especially if it's uneasy, because it's easy to slip into that borderline, especially if it's no conversational communication at home, right? And this is another thing that I want people to understand. If you are lacking giving your partner attention, period, compliments, talk time, sex, anything, and then you see that your partner is doing it with somebody else, right there she feels or he feels like you have an interest because you're not like that with me. But if you make your partner feel secure all the way around, I'm not saying 7 days a week or 24 hours a day you got to be, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you are doing what you're supposed to do like you do with the new person or the person that sparks your interest that could be different from your partner, I don't think that it will be so bad, because it's like, okay, well, I mean, he's a man, she's a woman. That's just what it is. It ain't nothing, because I know my position. Now, if you're doing all this and you know your position, there's no discrepancy, and the person still end up cheating, that got something to do with them. But to me, either way it go, it got something to do with them. But sometimes it can be provoked because, again, if a person is feeling alone in the relationship, if they're feeling alone in the relationship or they feeling neglected in a relationship, and you go and you talk to somebody else about it, and then they latch on to it and they might have an interest, that's a problem.
Because they're going to listen to those key points that you talk about that grabs your attention that other person is not doing. And they're going to use that as your weakness. That's how they're going to get at you. He or she gonna know that their significant other, okay, they don't, you talking to them, they don't do this and they don't such and such. Oh, okay.
And fellas, and I'm gonna say something to the fellas. And I'm speaking because I'm a woman and I know how women think. and I know how women are, right? Women can be very conniving, mischievous, sneaky, and I'm talking about it can be the girl's right hand. It could be her for real. Like I didn't see it, and it happened to me, right? But when you sit there and you confide in another woman about your woman, for me, that's a no-no. You never supposed to make nobody feel like they got one up over your woman. That's the piece that I can't get past. And to be honest, do not I, the type of woman that I am. Someone be like, you, I don't care, you better not sleep with her. I'd rather for you sleep with her and keep it moving than to sit there and talk about me to her so she can feel like she got something over on me. I that right there is because I'm gonna tell you, women will use it, and then when you don't give them what they want and you don't leave her for the reasons that you're complaining to her about, she gonna let it be known. And this is where you get caught up at. So if you think that you're doing something slick, you ain't doing it but hurting yourself. And this go for women and men. When a person do that to you, you gotta watch them. Because I'm not gonna talk to no other man. I'm not gonna talk to no other man bad about my husband. I'm not gonna do it. Because I'm never gonna make him feel like when we in a room together and this man that I'm confiding with in the room too, like, yep, this nigga. You know, because men do it.
And that's what
Men do it. Women do it.
It works both ways. Nobody wants to, male, female, nobody wants that feeling. You don't want to walk in a room and
y'all can't stand the piece of the touch and feel like you had your hands on my woman, this, that, and the third. But right, y'all say that though. But how do y'all think women feel when we feel like another woman has touched you, caressed you, fixed you something to eat, and made you feel a certain type of way?
I can believe that.
So y'all say that, but y'all
I can understand.
men do it.
That's why I keep pointing out, male or female. We don't realize these same feelings work both ways. It's just men might not express it the way women do, or we may pretend like we don't care, but trust me, you got some dudes that go home and boo-hooing and crying at the end of the night. So be it. So and when you get on the subject, get on the because I think about, okay, I was in a motorcycle club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Anybody on here that's been in the motorcycle community, y'all already know. Lauren,
all the dick and ass you want.
Lauren,
don't matter.
I know you know. I know I saw you pop on here, but you see it so much, right? We because we used to joke about it all the time. You get certain people, you look at them, and the first thing you think, like, if that person wasn't in this club, they'd be getting no play because they're ugly or they whatever they got going on. And then I've seen situations, females in different clubs, like I swear to you, I've known them for years and had no idea they was married. Like they had been married for 10, 20 years. But if you saw them out because they was getting that attention from these other guys and these other, oh my God. I don't see them at different bike functions going out in and out of hotel rooms. And, I got buddies.
They see your ass too, didn't they?
I was single in the motorcycle.
Yeah,
so I don't worry about that. I ain't had that problem. That was another reason why I stayed single. I said it was too much going on around me to be in a truly committed relationship. And I knew that. And after my last situation, prior to all that, I said, I need to focus on me because right now, I need to be happy for a while. I just felt like I wasn't happy for a few years, and I just said at this point I'm gonna do what makes me happy. It's funny because one of the first things, from the previous, that person had an issue with me owning a motorcycle. So the first thing I did, I went and brought me a motorcycle. I said, I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy. And that's just how it went from there on. So luckily, I got someone now that understands me and also looks to make me happy. So
Yeah.
it was.
So and the feeling is mutual. You was a breath of fresh air to me. And like, y'all have heard me say many a times when I met Real, um, I was going through a lot, right? But and I said I don't have time for this. I don't have time, And of course, like I said, I had my 5 year break where I was single, and people see you with people hanging out or whatever. Oh, I done went with Tom, Dick, Harry, and everybody in the alphabet, right? To everybody else, because that's just how people are, right? But I'm the type of person, it doesn't matter. I know what I do. And anyways, if I did this, my vagina, do what I want to do with it. However, when I met you, it was like you met me right where I was at, and I could be me, and you could be you. And when you was telling me some things about you, I'm like, oh, okay, like that's you, that's who you are. And I'd rather for you, and I think that's what made me kind of scared, because when you was telling me everything about you, it followed behind with your actions. You know what I'm saying? It was like everything was on the same line. And it was, because sometimes people will tell you something, and me and you talked about it, like a woman would tell you this and then you see something different or whatever, and it was like it was real. And that's when, like I started to have the insecurities about the work situation, right? That piece of you being honest with me and being straight up with me from day one, and I haven't seen, anything about lies or, your pattern changing or whatever. That's what helped me override my insecurities and not accuse you and made you feel like, okay, because sometimes people will change their position or their career for a person.
All right, don't front now. Don't
So,
act like if I don't step in this door by 8:03, I ain't getting a phone call.
yes, and now, yeah, because I'm concerned. It ain't because I think you're doing something. It's because where you at, what you doing, and I miss you. You've been gone for 12 hours. I miss him. He go to the bathroom. I miss him. He go to the kitchen. I miss him.
Oh, they don't look thick. They don't look thick.
But yeah. So you ladies and gentlemen that's out there, that is maybe going through this now, or been through it in the past, and you still in the situation. Just dig down into that goodie bag and pull that out, but make sure that your partner is on the same page. And before you say, "I'm going to forgive you," and we're going to um, walk forward together, I think that you all need to talk about what does walking forward consist of. Because it ain't no walking forward. I'm gonna be quiet, and you still can do the same old lame shit that you was doing before this occurred. Oh no, 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 no. Because now we got to rebuild, redate, and try to understand and overcome this thing. And sometimes a lot of us say, I forgive you, and we think it's supposed to go normal. No, some work need to be put in.
That's true.
Some work really needs to be put in, because again, men and women, and I don't know why I just keep wanting to speak to the men, but for the men, you have to understand. After she says she forgives you, she is looking at you with a different set of eyes before she knew what you did. So you got to be mindful that you're going to be dealing with a different woman. You're not going to be dealing with, old be quiet Becky. Come on in the house and just lay it out for you. Spray it for, no. You're going to be dealing with somebody that's looking at you like, you motherfucker. I should spit in your food. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. And then you come in the house tomorrow. I love you so much. I miss you. And how was your day? That's that roller coaster. Because she is hoping for the best, right? And she still want to see you in that light before you did what you did. But her emotions and her hurt feelings and her ego is taking over. So when that start to happen, you got to be like, okay, what's up? Don't brush it off. Just ask her what's up.
Yeah, and as a man or a woman, again, as that person, knowing again that you created this situation, right? That you put the relationship in this situation. You have to be willing to accept those spaz out moments at times. You have to be willing to talk and listen and understand where that other person is coming from. Again, put the shoe on the other foot. How would you feel?
Yep.
Are you going to be all warm and welcoming, knowing that just like when that person cheated before, they was out till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So the first time that person comes in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning again, or maybe even after midnight, what's your first thought gonna be? Back at it, huh?
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to put in
Yeah, I mean,
extra stuff.
it definitely becomes a game changer. It definitely becomes a game changer. Now it's up to the individuals how long it's going to be a game changer. But sometimes the game changer could be for the better.
And sometimes it can make the relationship stronger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For the
You
better,
know?
it can make it stronger because then, if your partner tells you what led them up to cheating and what you were lacking, and you got to be able when you ask that question, what made you cheat? You got to be ready for that answer.
Yeah.
And you can't when that person give you that answer, you cannot make it for the answer that you want it to be. If they tell you, well, you're not sexy anymore, and you don't do it, you can't say, oh, you full of shit, because you can't say that. You got to listen and understand that. Like, trust me, you got to listen and understand.
Yeah.
And understand that they having that moment of truth and they're telling you. And if you gonna start to do what the person has an interest in doing, then you do it. But y'all both got to be on the same page. But if it's gonna cause you to become somebody that you really not, then you got to reevaluate the relationship anyway.
I know of a couple. They they probably have been through the toughest times that when it comes to cheating that's possible, because a baby came about in the situation, and to this day, they're probably one of the strongest couples I know. And I know them both personally. I know them like they blood. So I knew them before. I mean, we grew up together, and I knew how strong the love was even before the whole cheating thing. That's why even when I caught wind of it, I couldn't believe it, because I knew how strong their bond was. They was like inseparable. I'm like, how did he even find the time? But either way, that's none of my business. But I've watched them over the years since then, and like now, I look at them today, and it's like it's stronger now than it was, and they've been together 20 some odd years.
And that's that mind over matter.
Yeah, they and I know they had their rough patches. I've been there for them on both ends, and like I say, it was tough because they both were real close to me. So I had to listen to it from both sides and not be biased one way or another, right? So I know both sides of the situation. I know how they both felt about it, and and I hope that me being there for them was able to help both of them.
Right. Because too, you got to be mindful too of your friends and your family. Yeah. And you were the type of person that I'm not for him, I'm not for her, I'm for y'all.
I'm for y'all.
Exactly. And so you got to be mindful of the people that's for your relationship.
I've always
not for him, not for you, for them. Y'all. Yes. Right? You there for team them. And so, and that was my next thing that I wanted us to kind of speak on is your girlfriend. Like, I could tell my girlfriend, you need to leave that nigga. You need to da-da-da-da. Now, I'm going to say this for me. It takes a lot for me to tell one of my friends or cousins that you need to leave that nigga. Or one of my male cousins or homeboys that you need to leave her, right? Because nothing is perfect. So, again, you got to be mindful on people that's quick to say you need to leave. You got to understand, it's easier for us to stay because I don't love Michael. You see what I'm saying? I'm not attached to Michael. I don't like Michael because of Michelle, right? So leave him. I don't care. Right. Don't listen to your friends. Listen to your mind and listen to your heart. And when it syncs up and it starts to make sense and these two is going together and what works for you and your situation, that's what you go with. Yes, we all gonna vent to our girlfriends or whatever. Some of us don't. But do not end your relationship or stay in a relationship because somebody is telling you what you need to adore or what you need to get rid of. that has to come within you and make sure that y'all are on the same place.
Because another thing you got to consider is that friend or that family member, were they truly happy for you in your relationship before this happened? Mm-hmm. So are they looking at this as an opportunity? Yeah, I ain't want her to be with him anyway. You need to go on leave him.
Right.
You know, and it has nothing to do with the actual situation.
It's just
her opportunity to encourage you to cut him loose because she miserable, she ain't got nobody, or she tired of seeing y'all so happy, and now come on sit on the miserable couch with me.
Right. Or in some cases, and I'm speaking from a woman's perspective on this, some women can be very judgmental with their friends' men. He's not good enough for you anyway, right? You know what I'm saying? He's not good enough for you. I told you about him anyway. Now, listen, you know why you was attracted to that man. You seen something in him. And again, none of us is perfect, right? And, you know, you got someone, man, as soon as you cheat on me, I'm gone.
Right.
But again, you gone. But then when you go to the next person, they cheat, then you gone again, then you gone again. Sometimes you got to understand where you met the person at. And you can have all the signs in the world to tell you that you shouldn't have been in a relationship that soon.
Not only that, a major flaw to you may be a minor flaw to the next one.
Right.
So she telling you to leave because of this reason. To you, that's not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
In the same time, her boyfriend doing such and such to her, to you, that's not. You know, that you telling her you needed it. So you just got to be real careful that the advice you take from outsiders, and that's why you get careful that the information you're giving outsiders too. You know what they say? You get to talking about Junebug, and you telling your sisters and your mama and your grandma and your cousins everything Junebug do, but Junebug keeps showing up at Thanksgiving, and you wonder why they don't like Junebug, because they know everything Junebug do, because you sit on the phone and talk about it. Every time something happens, first thing you do, you call one, and it just
generates.
It just goes to the next.
Yeah.
Kind of like CNN, Fox News. You know, we ain't gonna go there. That's a whole different topic. One day we're gonna sit here. We're gonna have a topic on cousins and cousin family business conversation, phone calls all times of the night. Anyway, go ahead. I don't want to get off subject.
And we're gonna talk about texting through the job and being out. Yeah. But anyways, see, he's a texter. You know, he texts all his people, right? And see, me, I don't have time to text because I got Bluetooth. So I just rather have a phone conversation.
Most of the time I'm texting is jokes between me and the guys.
Okay, we joking and talking shit too. That's what we do.
Y'all be going left on that joke sometimes. I ain't even getting that.
Yeah, because we laughing and joking. But anyways, don't be on here telling my business.
Y'all terrible.
We good terrible.
From Richmond to Stafford. Bilton.
Prince William. Philadelphia.
Anything from between Henrico and Philadelphia, they got a reporter.
But anyways, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay. I mean, it's the pipeline.
Gotcha.
It's pipeline. But back on the subject. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you're going through this again and you feel like you need somebody to talk to, this is why you get a non-biased person. And a lot of people be like, you know, I don't want to go to a therapist. I don't want to go to a relationship coach. I mean, well, when you go to them people, they don't know neither one of you, right? So they're not going to be taking sides. They're going to do what's best for the relationship because they're coming in as a non-biased person. That's what they're coming in as.
I mean, I can honestly say that with us, we've talked to some people that we personally knew.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm sure they'll tell you that neither one of us was biased towards the other one.
Right.
You know, the way we've done it, I'm gonna talk to the man, she's gonna talk to the woman, then at some point we reverse and had the same conversation, vice versa, and then we have another group conversation.
Yeah.
But I want to believe that we've always given fair, unbiased information.
Yes.
That's always,
with the feedback that we've gotten, the reviews.
That's always the approach. to me the best approach to take. I walk into one of the few sessions I've been involved with. I walk into it with blinders, like I have no idea what this situation's all about. Tell me what's on your mind, and that's just where I start.
Right.
So I don't go off of because you told me already that such and such said that. I act like I don't know nothing. Tell me from scratch.
Right. And then again, with us and our coaching stuff that we do when it comes to relationship, when I'm talking to the one individual, I don't share the information with you unless I need to transfer because now you need to be informed. But like if I'm talking to the wife and then the husband needs that piece, and then that's the piece where because this is what we do, and then that he needs to talk to the husband. I don't tell him what the wife says. I don't do that, and he doesn't tell me what the husband says. We talk about it once we're all together, and we get confirmation that it's okay to discuss openly.
Right. Because we want to see that when we have that group conversation, we want to see that person has, in so many words, that person has the same energy when we all face to face.
Right.
Don't we behind closed doors, it's just me and you gonna tell me X, Y, and Z. That other person gonna tell A, B, and C. Now, when we all get together, are we gonna get the full alphabet? Or are we gonna get a whole mumble? You're not gonna point out what you told me when it was just us.
Mm-hmm.
To me that's a red flag. Why you don't want to talk about that now?
Right.
We all
if that's what we're here for.
If that's what we're here for, and that's truly your issue, here we go.
Yeah. So again, don't allow people. Don't allow people to
talking about watch it, James.
Don't allow people to dictate whether you're going to end a relationship because of cheating, and don't allow people to dictate whether you're going to stay in a relationship if you're truly not happy. And if you know that you cannot get past it and it's just not going to work because it's a no-go for you, it's okay to walk away.
It is.
It is okay to walk away and overcoming cheating.
And it might be a temporary walk away.
Exactly. Yep. That's what I was going to say.
It might not be a walk away. It might just be a step back.
Yep.
Let's step back. Let's reevaluate.
Reflect.
Let's reflect. Let's think about where we both could have went wrong in this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're the one that cheated, let me try to figure out how I played up, and this not the, and I'm not. I don't want to get this misunderstood to say that because he cheated, the woman need to feel like it's her fault. Never in a million years would I say.
Vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. Never in a million years would I tell somebody that. What I'm saying is, if you think about it, if the person say because you weren't sexy like you were in the beginning, so now let me sit back and think about how was I then compared to now. Is it because I'm working twice as much now, so I don't take the time to get my hair cut as often as I do? It's little things like that. And again, that's not an excuse for a person to cheat on. It's just a self-reflection moment.
Well, yeah, too. And I'm going to say this. Can you imagine if we was together, because me and you talk about it some, what if we was together at 20, right? 20 years ago, right? You would have caught me at 23. I would have caught you at 27. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe we do because people be thinking like you old because of your beard or whatever. But anyways, it don't matter. But anyways,
27. Huh?
You'd have been 27. I'd have been 23. So now we're still married, right? But just think that we can look back and say we have grown from 20 years ago to now. And even now, would you say, because I could tell you, my taste, by the time I got to you, my taste in men changed, right? So when you're in a relationship and a marriage and it's been long on, this is why you got to date and be consistent and get to know each other, because the personality changes, the way you think, the way you process. What was sexy to you 20 years ago might not be sexy to you 20 years later. So this is where you kind of get to know. And this is what I found with couples that have been together for so long. You're not the same. Well, of course they're not, because it's 20 years later. but you got to keep up with each other's personality. And then some people, like they say, we just fell out of love because we're not in love with what we fell in love with. Because again, you're mature, so you want different things. Some people change, some people don't. And when the other person don't change and they just complacent, they just fine, just cool with just doing nothing. They was hoping that they would change and spice things up, and they didn't. It's kind of like, I'm just not into that anymore. I'm not into the laid back chick no more. I want a more spontaneous chick.
And that's just, of course, and as we closing, because we're running out of time, I just right. point out, of course, at 27, it was more of a physical appearance to a woman.
Men too.
Men, that's what I'm saying. A man looking at a woman, he going off the physical before anything else. He looking at what she looking at. Versus now, it's more of a mental thing first. It's more of a mental stability thing first.
For a grown man, because some men still look at the outside and get trapped.
And that was the other point. Now that's when you get on to some people, male or women, they don't mature as they get older. I got a uncle that's probably 60-some years old, still running around here trying to look at little young girls like what are you doing? At what point do you mature? You're supposed to be retired and settle down somewhere, and you still run around here and want to smoke you a blunt and do whatever with these young chicks. So yes, some people just don't mature at all. They get stuck in those 25-year-old ways.
Right.
So that's just life. So you got to find a person that's on your wavelength as you grow. And especially if you started as a couple started at a young age together, you got to make sure you're growing together. Don't wait till they get out of hand. Don't wait till the cheating start. Don't wait till, there's no communication. As you move along, you got to make sure you're moving at the same pace. And you got to notice when that person's not moving at your pace, you know you're maturing, but you see that person still dragging along, still rather go to the club. Let's go get this outfit so we can go to the club. But you thinking about investing some money somewhere, you got it. It's an eye opener.
Yeah, what is it? An eye opener? That's where you gotta stop. Because sometimes you gotta stop.
Stop, but you give it.
No. Let me finish. You gotta stop. Have the conversation. Reach back, grab your partner by the hand, and bring them forward. Because sometimes we can move so fast at a rapid that is so good for us, and we know where we're going because we see the vision, because we're the driven one in the situation, right? Your partner don't understand, right? So until they understand, they still gonna stand still. So sometimes you gotta hold them by the hand and bring them up, up with you, and say, look, this is what's going on. What's up with you? Good, straight, or what's, I want to bring you along, this, that, and third. So not just stop and be done with it. No, I'm saying stop, had a conversation, reflect, and say, listen, I noticed that you're a little stagnant right now.
Try to bring them along with you, but at the same time,
if they don't want to go,
you can't carry that dead weight. They ain't but so much weight you can carry and dragging on the back of that truck.
Right. I'm not saying just keep pulling them. What I'm saying is, it ain't fair to drop them and you ain't even had a conversation, give them an opportunity.
It's all communication.
It ain't fair to go cheat with somebody that's on your caliber now, right? But ain't been through you through the struggle, because this person that's behind here was with you through your struggle, helped you and rubbed your back and invested too, but maybe not from the physical look of it but invested their time, understood, pushed you, gave you encouraging words while they still did what was best, because they seen that you had the vision and you had more of the drive. Because a lot of people get that misconstrued too.
You sound like a Tyler Perry movie.
So, well, it don't matter. It's real. Because one thing about Tyler Perry, it's real. It's real stuff though. It's real life. It's real. But anyways, that is our wrap up. You want to finish the complete wrap up?
Hey. Communication, it always comes back to communication. And communication, knowing what's best for you and your situation and your relationship. And talk, communication, and fight.
Yep.
Fight for what you love.
And do it like this. Together. Okay? You got to do it together. You can't be fighting like this. You got to be doing it like this,
hand in hand.
Yes.
Walk through the flames of hell together if you have to.
Yeah,
But
you got to.
hopefully, you just hope that you don't get to that point.
Hopefully you come out still at one accord, right? But you definitely got to do it together, and you definitely, whoever is the stronger vessel, whether it's the man or it's the woman, whoever's the stronger vessel at the time of the situation, you got to be the carrier in that situation. You got to be the person to pour into. Somebody has to stop, pray, pause, and then proceed. Somebody has to make the weaker vessel aware of what's going on so they can kind of be on the same page so they can move forward. Okay. And trust me, communication definitely is the key. And if you love that person and you believe in that person and you believe in y'all and what y'all got going on, and don't stay in nothing for kids either, because you're just teaching your kids to deal with certain things when you know it ain't right. However, work together, work together, work together, work together. And if you do need a life coach, a relationship coach, we are here. Can We Talk LLC is here. You can reach us at Can We Talk Raw Wisdom. We are here for y'all, and we are here for your relationship. Thank you all so much for joining us. See y'all later. Whew, we're off to Texas come Friday. Yes.
See them Cowboys.
Yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
with that, good night.
Good night, you guys. Thank you.